Alright, shalom, more praises be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakadash, double honor unto the elder apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who were well when he taught us his truth. Shalom to all you sincere I came out there pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Do you believe in brothers and sisters, Yakwaf as well, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakadash, Barakatam. Now, I just wanted to touch very quickly on etiquette and acknowledging dignitaries. Okay, it's important, man. You know, and pretty much just go over an account, a famous account in the scriptures of an individual who failed to do so, and in failing to do so, lost everything, and essentially lost his life. Okay, because it's very important to always remember that we're involved in something bigger than us as individuals, and individually it's our aim and our goal, our primary aim and goal, to be saved, to be delivered, at the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay, but we also have to be mindful that outside of ourselves there's a bigger operation at play, and I guess you could sum that up in saying a kingdom is being built. Okay, an establishment is being founded, under the order of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and being a part of something bigger than ourselves requires us to conduct accordingly, and the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has set up men in particular order and rule, and it's about working together, opposed to being cocky. Okay, as you can see on screen, I've got the definition of the word cocky, and when I say about working together, it's about brothers working together who are in the same spirit for the same cause. Okay, not anybody that's just out there doing their own thing, pretending to be a part for the cause or anything like that. We're talking about people that are actually dedicated to the purpose and the building of the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and so let's just get into it, man. This is the word cocky here, and it says conceited or confident in a bold or cheeky way, haughty, conceited, overconfident, cocksure, smug, egotistical, presumptuous, lordy, boastful, blustering, brash, self-assertive, high and mighty, pompous, forward. Okay, and as I said, considering that the mission is greater than something outside of ourselves as individuals, we can't afford to have an egotistical, proud, vain, cocksure, smug self-importance in this truth. We all have to fall into place, and you know, play our role accordingly. Okay. And here's a scripture um, from the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 32, verse 21, and it says, "Be not confident in a plain way." You know, um, that self kind of assurity that everything's gonna go how you expect it to go. Because you're such a great planner, or you've got a certain amount of wealth, or you think you're this, you think you're that. You know, oftentimes the Lord, the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, will have things go terribly different and essentially wrong for such individuals, just to prove that you know you're not in control. You're not in control, because that's really a spirit of the world. That the assurity of tomorrow, and the assurity of the business plan, and the assurity of whatever a particular individual party is said. Whereas we don't operate like that. We operate in under the spirit and vibration of Abaratazar. If the Father wills, if the Lord wills, you know, and essentially the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to be established and done, rather than what we would want to be done. You know, the constant remembrance of a higher power over our lives, you know, is pretty much what forwards success. But when you are more involved in what you want to do, what I want to do, you know, the Lord has an interesting way of humbling that, that thought process, that thought pattern, that idea. Yeah, the Lord has a way of outing that light bulb of pride. So the scriptures tells us to be not confident in a plain way, because the Lord has an interesting way of changing the scenario real quick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go through the account here of a man named Nabal. All right, and it's found in First Samuel's the 25th chapter. Okay, and in this man's case, he was essentially unalive from bad etiquette and acknowledgement of dignitaries, man. You know, and yeah, let's get into it. So it says, and Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And it says, and there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel. And the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. And by the way, this is the measure of true wealth. Your ability and possession within agriculture, gold, silver, um, and cattle. All right, I mentioned that in agriculture. And it says, and now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. Okay, now when you actually get into the word Nabal, so omen nomen, I believe it actually means foolish or stupid. Um, let's see, Nabal. All right, see, it actually means fool. Okay, so he actually lived out the meaning of his name in his life, because you know he ended up dying for playing the fool, for playing the jackass, man. So in verse 4, and it says, and David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep, and he sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus ye shall say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. So David sent word unto Nabal in peace, man. you know, and you know, blessing someone with peace isn't a light thing. It's not only a formality, but it shows goodwill onto the person you're bidding peace. That shalom upon, man. So David sent the 10 young men to essentially give good tidings, you know, and shalom upon Nabal, man, and all that he had in his household. Okay. And it says, and now I have heard that thou hast shearers, and thy shepherds which were with us. We hurt them not, neither was there aught missing unto them, all the while they were in Carmel. Ask thy young men, and they will shew thee. Wherefore let the young men find favour in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand unto thy servant and to thy son David. Okay. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all the words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David, and who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants now a days that break away every man from his master. Okay, so Nabal, as we read earlier in this definition here on Google, he was coming with that cocksure type of arrogant spirit, man. You know, and this is where the title of the lesson comes into it. Unalived from bad etiquette and acknowledgement of dignitaries. You know, and we always touch on it from time to time, but etiquette, you know, is actually a part of the doctrine. And when you read through the scriptures, etiquette will take us a long way. The lack of etiquette can lead to the failure of of international relations, regional relations, between rulers, kings. The lack of etiquette can lead to the disrepair of personal relationships, friends, family. Um, the lack of etiquette can can ruin your substance and your wealth, you know, because they say when you get to a certain level, it's not the things you have that define you, but the person you were before you had them things, man. You know, like they say, you've changed. Yeah, a lot of people, their circumstance changes, and now they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to remember you. They want to act like they don't know you. They want to act like, in this guy's case, like they've never heard of you or your dad or your family line, you know. And that boastful, smug, cocksure, self-assertive, insolent forward, uh, pompous type of attitude, that ugly head of being haughty, yeah, and proud starts to kick in, and it all essentially goes wrong. Okay, so Nabal was acting up, and pretty much he was trying to diss David and be like, man, who the fuck does David think he is? And for that matter, like, who's his that? You know, and he says, shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed from my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? So he was basically slapping away the hand of peace that David had extended. He sent his 10 men onto Nabal, and he basically didn't want to feed them, and he didn't want to show kindness unto them, and when you get into Israelite etiquette, again, it's in the law to treat one another with love, delicacy, and respect. Okay, you know, and that's something that has drastically dwindled away to nothing really amongst our people. That's actually in the scriptures, man. That the eye that was tender towards thy brother, had been turned evil. Roughly paraphrasing. So Nabal pretty much figuratively spat in the face of David, by refusing to receive his men in peace and look after them, man. You know. So David's young men turned their way, and went again, and came and told him those things, saying, And David said unto his men, Gird on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them, you know. Okay, now let's get into that word railed. There's that word. So like, yeah. And this is something Nabal should have known better, man. But just like his name means foolish, he conducted himself foolishly. You want to act like David ain't who he is, and his father Jesse wasn't who he was, and it's like, come on, man. You don't try act up to dignitaries, man. Because men in power that are humble with it, they're not gonna essentially lord it over you, but that's not a reason to take the fucking piss. You start taking the piss, people like, you know, it's like, bro, you could get put in your place, man. And David essentially wasn't having that, man. That's why he told his men, nah, man, all right, saddle up, you know, saddle up, man. Okay. So the word railed here means to scream, um, to swoop, to rush upon, to dart greedily, So essentially, Nabal was he was acting up, man. That's what they say over here in the UK. Stop acting up, bruv. Nabal was acting up, man. You know, verse 15. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when we were in their fields. They were a wall unto us both night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. Now therefore no one consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such as the son of Belial, that a man cannot speak to him. And again, another trait of a fool, which was perfectly displayed in the man Nabal, is not being able to be spoken to, man. You know, um, meaning when it says nobody can speak to him, it means he doesn't attain, such a man doesn't attain unto wise counsel. Such a man doesn't have a keen ear towards rebuke. You know, that's that you can't tell me nothing spirit. Forever right, forever justified, never in the wrong. Anybody that tries to tell you a different perspective, you shut them down. And so Nabal couldn't be reasoned with. He was a wrong and strong type of individual. You know. So it says, Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. And she was able to do so because despite her husband being a nasty piece of work, he was a rich man. So she took from that wealth and prepared a gift, to try and mitigate the blow of what David was about to do, and that shows you that in the ancient world, where women uh, actually had a level of sense to them. You know, most women these days, they would quicker run you into problems. But there's a few cases in the scriptures where women saw what was going on. They put two and two together, and they actually tried to run you out of problems, you know. And she said unto her servants, Go on before me, behold, I am come after you, but she told not her husband Nabal. Yeah, because she knew that if she said that she's, preparing a gift for David, that seems counterproductive. Here he is cursing David out and his dad, acting up and treating David's men badly. Then his wife is just gonna go and give a gift. He's like, he would have shut that down, man. He would have stopped her from doing so, you know. So essentially, she went behind his back and prepared the gift, man. And it was so, as she rode on the ass, that she came down by the cover of the hill, and behold, David and his men were come down against her, and she met them. And Abigail was a courageous woman, man. Because she was riding towards David, and David was on smoke, man. David weren't coming to, like, David, that he told his men, yeah, to get your swords and saddle up. Like, David was going there to what I mean, to leak, to make man leak in it. Okay. But she went out toward them, man. you know so that took a lot of courage to do that, man. you know and now David had said, surely in vain have I kept all this fellow hath in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertain unto him, and he hath requited me evil for good. So more also do the Most High unto the enemies of David, if I leave all that pertain to him by the morning light, any that pisseth against the wall. And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass, and fell before David on her face, and bowed herself to the ground. And that shows the humility that women had in the ancient world. Man. You're not going to get that today. And fell at his feet and said, upon me, my Lord, upon me let this iniquity be, and let thine handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thine audience, and hear the words of thine handmaid. So she even asked permission to speak, man. you know, let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, thine handmaid, saw not the young men of my Lord, meaning her husband, who thou didst send. Now therefore, my Lord, as Yahweh liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing the Lord Yahweh hath withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thine own hand, now let thine enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal. And now this blessing which thine handmaid hath brought unto my Lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my Lord. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thine handmaid, for Yahweh will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord feigneth the battles of Yahweh, and evil hath been found in thee all thy days. So she was basically putting a case before David. Yet a man is risen to pursue thee, and to seek thy soul. But the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life with Yahweh thy power, and the souls of thine enemies shall be sling out, as out of the middle of a sling. And it came to pass, and it shall come to pass, when the Lord Yahweh shall have done to my Lord according to all the good that he hath spoken concerning thee, shall have appointed thee ruler over Israel, that this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offence of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord hath avenged himself. But when Yahweh shall have dealt with my Lord, then remember thine handmaid. So essentially, she was trying to talk David out of going to to slaughter Nabal, man. Okay, because although Nabal disrespected, he technically didn't break a law. He lacked etiquette, and respect. But there's certain laws that are worthy of death, but he didn't do anything against the law that, would have warranted his death. So David would have killed him, and it would have brought sin upon David, because he would have killed him out of emotional anger rather than, you know, putting a man down according to the letter of the law. All right. But Abigail was acknowledging that just take these gifts and basically chill out, and Yahweh will deal with my husband, you know. And David said unto Abigail, Blessed be Yahweh, the power of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which hast kept me this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with mine own hand. So David acknowledged that, man, and he put blessings upon Abigail, because that would have brought sin in the form of what? Murder, okay, unto David. For in very deed, as Yahweh power of Israel liveth, uh, bear me 1 second. Right, it says, for in very deed, as Yahweh power of Israel liveth, which have kept me back from hurting thee, except thou hadst and come to meet me, surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning light, and any that pisseth against the wall. So David said, Listen, man, if you didn't come out to meet me by morning, you know, everything would have been gone, you know, finished. All right. So David received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, Go up in peace to thy house. See, I have hearkened to thy voice, and have accepted thy person. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house, like the feast of a king. And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Wherefore she told him nothing less or more until the morning light. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. Right? So what does that mean? You know, um, the Lord made him get a heart attack, man. You know, he was partying it up in his house the night before, and the Lord gave him a heart attack, man. You know, and it came to pass about 10 days after, that the Lord smote Nabal, that he died, man. So he was getting them heart palpitations, because sometimes heart attacks don't um don't take a person out straight away. People can be suffering cardiac arrest for days on end, man. You know, and then finally that stony heart just fully packs in, and that's it, man. You know, so it saved Nabal's ignorance. Wasn't necessarily avenged by David himself. But the Lord saw the disrespect. You know, the Lord saw the disrespect that Nabal showed unto David, you know, and also unto Jesse, who Nabal ignorantly mentioned. He also saw the disrespect unto David's 10 men that he had sent unto Nabal. Okay, you know, and this is a great lesson to understand that vengeance is the Lord's, man. There may be particular things that are done unto us, where you think that you've got to take it into your own hands, you know like they say, man, try, know, and understand, rude boy. Sometimes people do things, and it's like you want to try make them understand that no, they can't run game on you, they can't violate you like that, because you're not a dickhead like that. That's how David was, man. He was like, you can't run game on me like that, boy. I'm gonna come slaughter your whole everything, and done your dance by morning time, you know. But again, vengeance belongs unto the Lord. So really, Abigail prevented David from doing an emotional murder, man. An emotional slaughter. Okay. So not only did she save him from sin, but the Lord also avenged David because he allowed Nabal to have that party. But from that next morning, he was started having heart problems, man. And 10 days later, his heart packed in and he died, you know? Okay. Verse 39. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the Lord Yahweh that hath pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal. So David acknowledged it because he was going to do it himself. But the Lord had put it upon Abigail to go and give him them gifts and meet him, in the way and get off her donkey, her ass, and bow before David and plead the cause, you know. So and gave him the gifts and he basically appeased David, but the Lord still got Nabal, man. So David actually acknowledged that when he heard of the death of Nabal and have kept his servant from evil. What was the evil? Murder. As I said, yeah, David felt violated, but according to the law, yes, Nabal had fucking violated on an etiquette level, but on a letter of the law level, he didn't really violate any law. There's no law in the Torah that says if you feel disrespected by a man, kill him. That's not in the Torah. That's not a part of the law. Okay? Because pretty much, if that was a part of the law, then there'd be no Israelites left. Because Israelites are fucking emotional. You know, existence, all people are emotional, but Jacob's some emotional people, man. And if you step on their shoe or you look at them the wrong way, they're ready to blow your head off, or stick a blade in you. Yeah. So if there was actually a law saying if you feel violated by another Israelite man, kill him, then the whole nation would be done. There's no law in the Bible, in the Torah, that says if you feel violated, kill a man. Like you can't just kill a man. Like that's a part of the scriptures, man. There's a difference between um killing and murder. All right. So let me get the wording correct. You can't murder a man. Can people be killed? Yes. All right. Because capital punishment and execution and that is actually in the scriptures for particular reasons. Okay. But murder is the taking of life. You see, killing is the taking of life for a particular reason. Okay. For example, when you sacrifice a lamb or a turtle dove, that's not murder. That's killing because killing comes under a reason. Yeah, okay, it needs to be sacrificed for this sin offering, peace offering, or if a man did something worthy of death according to the law, he would be shot through for certain violations, he would be stoned for certain violations. That all comes under killing, the unaliving of a person for a reason. But murder is, you know what? I don't like my man. He violated. Yeah, let me go stab him. Murder is what Cain did to Abel. You feel a type of way inside and you express that through unaliving another man. That's murder. So there's a difference between killing and murder. Okay? So what David was about to do, had it not been for Abigail coming and meeting him in the way, he was gonna murder Nabal, which is evil because the scripture says, "Thou shalt not murder." The ways it killed, really, the word should be there, murder. You know, So he actually praised the Lord that Abigail stopped him from doing evil, which is murder. For the Lord hath returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. Yeah, wow. Why? Because 10 days later, nigga got a heart attack and died, man. Okay? And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her uh, to him to wife, you know. And I'm gonna end it there, but you can keep. Well, let me just read the last couple of verses. And when the servants of David were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spake unto her, saying, David sent us unto thee to take thee to him to wife. And she arose and bowed herself in her face to the face of the earth, and said, Behold, let thine handmaid be a servant to wash thy feet of the servants of my Lord. And Abigail hastened and rose and rode upon her ass with 5 damsels of hers that went after her, and she went after the messengers of David and became his wife. Okay. Now when she took her 5 damsels, what the hell do you think happened there? Not only did he marry Abigail, but them damsels were given unto David as well. Okay, you know, and that's like one of the worst nightmares you could have as a man. That like if you were to die, and like okay, there's the law on it. You know, if a man dies, you know, the wife can be given onto another man because she's loosed from that marriage, right? That's a part of marital law within the Torah, okay, in the scriptures. But the worst thing is, the worst nightmare for a man is that when if you were to pass on, yeah, and then like your enemy or a guy you didn't get along with is now fucking your wife and she's now his wife, like, do you know what I mean? But that's what happened to this fool. Why? Because he had no etiquette. He had no behavior. Okay. He had no composure because he got gassed because he was rich. Okay. But he had no sense to accompany his possessions. And therefore he lost everything. You know, he lost his life and he lost his wife. you know. Okay. So it's a long day for Nabal, man. you know. Okay. And it says, and David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives. All right. But Saul had given Michal his daughter, David's wife, to Phalti, the son of Laish, which was of Galim. Okay. So that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. You know, etiquette can save your life, man. And in the case of the Baal, he was unalived from bad etiquette and acknowledgement of dignitaries, man. You know, okay. Because everybody know who Jesse was. Okay, the history gets taught onto you. Everybody, you know, up and coming figures, man, up and coming people. You know, established dignitaries. You know, there has to be a level of respect there, especially when people come to you in peace. Be peaceful, man. David extended a peaceful outreach, if you will, to Nabal, and Nabal basically spat in David's face, man, and acted up. You know, now David wanted to do his own thing and take him off the scene, but you know the Lord had it where Abigail stopped him from doing that. But then the Lord still got Nabal, okay, you know, and Nabal lost his life and he lost his wife, okay, so that's just an account to always be mindful, man. That etiquette, and acknowledgement goes a long way, man. Okay, we went through these words, man. There's no benefit to being proud. You know, the scriptures speak heavily about pride, man. There's no purpose to being a forward individual, to being haughty, to being arrogant, like, to be lordy and smug and cocksure, overconfident. All these things only lead to one's destruction. Okay, and Nabal is a key case, yeah, of getting flipping destroyed and unalived because you can't behave yourself and extend etiquette, man. So it would behoove all of us, myself included, first and foremost, to always remember to be respectful, man. Okay, you know, in the case of Nabal, yeah, he was successful, he was very rich, but he lacked humility. No matter how much you think you got, or how influential or untouchable you may think you are, yeah, don't fool yourself. Don't fool myself. Always be respectful, okay? And try and proceed in peace, man. Okay? Try and proceed in peace and always be respectful, okay? Because on the repercussions of not doing so could cost your life. And in this guy's case, his wife too, man. You know what I mean? Sad case, man. So anyways, I just wanted to share a little bit on that. And you know, Lord willing, go over some, much needed points that we should all remember, man. You know, etiquette goes a long way. It's not just about calling scriptures and quoting it and then acting like a brute beast, man. It's about actually applying it and praying that we maintain good behavior um amongst one another, man. You know, to essentially the furtherance of the kingdom. Because as I started out, this is something bigger than us. Yes, our primary goal is to be saved as individuals. As the scripture says, that every man work out his own salvation with fear and trembling. So that's our primary goal. But this thing is bigger than us as individuals. A kingdom is being built. Forever is being established. So there has to be order. There has to be respect. You know, and there has to be etiquette. For the furtherance of the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So let's just meditate on all these things, man. I'm out, man. All praises be unto Yahweh. Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash. Again, double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who taught us his truth and who rule well. And I'll catch you in the next one, man. Shalom.